Will Michael Bellic, Niko Bellic from Grand Theft Auto 4 be returning in Grand Theft Auto 6? Now look, a lot of you are going, no, why would he? Absolutely not. What are you talking about? Well, the answer might surprise you. Well, sorta. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. Now, why am I even making this video? Well, I'm making this video because I've gotten multiple comments now asking me to. Also, I'm not gonna lie, I'm really freaking tired after the last video. I mean, it took it out of me. I put my heart and soul into this massive video covering AI and the future of video games. And I wanted something for a Friday release. And you know what? This was on the list, so I'm covering it. That's what I'm doing. But don't think I got lazy. I did do my due diligence on this. So I'm going to answer to the best of my abilities. I'm going to give you a concrete answer by the end of this video if Niko is going to be in Grand Theft Auto 6. And at the very least, the value you're going to get out of this, if there's any value at all, is understanding why people think he's going to be in Grand Theft Auto 6. So since it's my goal to cover pretty much everything regarding Grand Theft Auto 6, I can't leave this one on the table. So let's do it. Real quick, before I forget, shout out to Wahib Comrie. And I'm so sorry. I'm having trouble pronouncing this, but dude, shout out to you. He asked for a shout out. If you want shout outs on the channel, ask for him and I will edit you into the video. Anyways, big shout out, homie. Hope you're doing all right. So will Niko Bellic be returning in Grand Theft Auto 6? Let me just tell you, there is officially no confirmation that he will appear in Grand Theft Auto 6. And now look, I went deep, guys. I went deep. I went through everything I possibly could to try and find just a crumb, a speck of information that confirms that he would be in Grand Theft Auto 6. But the only breadcrumbs that we do have lead to nothing more than speculation. I'm just going to be totally honest with you about that. So why do people think this? Well, it's because of Michael Bellic's recent activity. See, now we're getting a little spicy, but not too spicy because the most significant development really came recently, back in July, when Michael Bellic, the voice actor of Niko, he made a surprising return to social media after 17 years of absence. 17 years. Some of you watching this are 17 years old, maybe even younger. Oh my gosh, you guys are making me feel old, but whatever. So anyways, he joined Cameo, and he stated when he joined, "I avoided social media for a long time, but you fans are relentless, so here I am." So people kind of took this as a sign, some people, of, him returning as Niko Bellic in Grand Theft Auto 6. Like, well, why else would he get on Cameo and start engaging with us unless he was going to be on Grand Theft Auto 6? That's not how it works. You want my 2 cents? I think the reason he's choosing to now is because really, and I mean this in the most polite way possible, I think Niko Bellic was the biggest thing in his career, at least in the United States. Now, I don't know that for certain, but that's all I know him in. But also, social media is a thing. I imagine he's starting to see how the voice actors from Grand Theft Auto 5, with the exception of Stephen Ogg, and Red Dead Redemption, how they've been going about engaging with the community and, the opportunities it's opened up for them and stuff like that. So I think that is the reason he is choosing to get back on now of all times. Also, it's been a very long time now since Rockstar's burned him. It wasn't even really Rockstar. We'll talk about that in a minute. But anyways, he got on Cameo. People start speculating. So that's one of the reasons why people think that Michael Bellic is returning as Niko in Grand Theft Auto 6. Bellic is also expanding his public presence, though, beyond Cameo. As reported in September of 2025, Michael Bellic will be joining Ned Luke at Comic-Con Saratoga 2025, marking his first appearance at such events alongside other Grand Theft Auto voice actors. And that's really freaking cool because I love Niko Bellic. I want him in Grand Theft Auto 6. I loved Michael Bellic's work. And at the very least, I think it's going to be really cool for him to engage with the fans and for people to, maybe he'll give him some famous quotes or something from the game series. Who knows?
How about we go bowling?
Niko, this is a great American activity. We bowl together. You pick me up in next town.
I see you soon then, Roman.
But anyways, people see that also leading to the fact like, oh, well, he's trying to get a buzz going. He's going to be in Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, look, I'm not saying he's not. He could be. I'm just saying there's no concrete evidence. I mean, back when Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, there was a lot of speculation about him returning. He popped up in a Life Invader account, which was really cool. I think it was literally just copy paste from Grand Theft Auto 4, except it had some epilogue kind of stuff, and we could see that he did, in fact, end up with Roman running the taxi business still after the events of Grand Theft Auto 4. So maybe they did get that happy ending, and it's canon that Roman lived, which is really cool. But I digress. We didn't see Niko in Grand Theft Auto 5, and that was because of a payment controversy. Now, this happened a very long time ago now, and I don't think it's going to affect whether he comes back now or not. But let's talk about that payment controversy. And most of you already know this, so I'm just going to look at it very briefly. So if we want to understand Michael Bellic's relationship with Rockstar Games, we got to look at the 2008 payment controversy. According to a New York Times article from May of 2008, Bellic was paid roughly $100,000 over 15 months for his voice voice acting, and motion capture work on Grand Theft Auto 4. Now, some of you might be like, wow, Niko Bellic was only paid $100,000 over 15 months, like only $100K. But look, to contextualize this, we got to look at it. Bellic said that he was actually paid about 50% more than the standard rate, roughly $1,050 a day. And that's a lot of money for a day rate. But the game's commercial success made this payment controversial. According to Take-Two Interactive's official announcement, Grand Theft Auto 4 earned $310 million in its first day and $500 million in its first week. Now, I know Grand Theft Auto 5 like trumps that, but back then these were some serious numbers. Despite the financial disparity, Bellic has consistently stated he does not blame Rockstar. To some of you who know about this controversy, you might think, oh, he doesn't like Rockstar, Rockstar burned him. It's not quite that Rockstar burned him, because there was a middleman. In a New York Times interview, Bellic said, obviously, I'm incredibly thankful to Rockstar for the opportunity to be in this game when I was just a nobody, an unknown quantity. But it's tough when you see Grand Theft Auto 4 out there is the biggest thing going right now, when they're making hundreds of millions of dollars and we don't see any of it. I don't blame Rockstar. I blame our union for not having the agreements in place to protect the creative people who drive the sales of these games. Now, I'm sure he was a little bit upset at Rockstar about all of this, but if you're talking publicly, you have to be like, oh, I don't blame Rockstar. I blame the unions that don't work hard enough, that kind of thing. But whatever, because I don't think he wanted to burn any bridges with the biggest video game company in the world. I think he wanted to leave that door open. Not like Stephen Ogg, who's very much against the idea of being Trevor in Grand Theft Auto 5, it seems. I don't know. It's like, dude, get over yourself. I don't know. He's acting like Kurt Cobain, hating his fans for liking his stuff. And to some extent, I get it, because that's not what you want to be known for. But you know what? If you have a roof over your head, if you got meals, you got a place to sleep, you got people who love you, you're doing all right. Chill out, man. Sorry, I'm getting preachy. But let's talk about, Rockstar and Bellic potentially reconciling. So whether or not they've, quote unquote, mended their relationship, there's not really any direct evidence of, some sort of formal reconciliation. And I don't think Rockstar would ever play it like that. However, Ned Luke, voice actor for Michael DeSanta, I'm sure a lot of you guys have watched his stuff, he's reached out to Bellic. During a May 2025 interview, when asked about Bellic, Luke stated, I don't know him. I've never met Michael. I wouldn't mind reaching out to him. I'd like to get him to a Comic-Con or two. And I think, it's kind of funny, the idea of Michael reaching out to Michael. But anyways, I found a Reddit post from September of 2025, and it was talking about how Ned Luke, Michael's voice actor, that's the one who reached out to him. They're all going to be together at an event, and even CJ's voice actor was going to be there. Now, there is no confirmed information about whether Rockstar Games has directly contacted or compensated Bellic beyond the original payment. And if they did, it would be under the table. Now, I seriously doubt it, because I'm sure you know how they did it with Ray Liotta in Vice City. If you don't know about that, that's a whole nother thing. But basically, if Rockstar is not going to fold for Ray Liotta, Goodfellas and everything else he's done, but Goodfellas, if they're not going to fold for him, they're not going to fold for anybody. And they've always kind of treated their voice actors the way they do, but that's a whole nother story. That's an entirely different thing. And I'm sure there's millions of videos on YouTube about that exact topic. All right, so let's talk about these leaks and rumors of Niko being in Grand Theft Auto 6. So all claims about Niko Bellic appearing in Grand Theft Auto 6 are, let's just be honest here, unverified speculation. Back in February of 2024, there was a rumor claiming that he could return for a cameo. However, with no named source behind this alleged leak, it is hard to judge how reliable it is. And there you go. There's no evidence, there's no concrete proof, none of that. And there's been social media posts and stuff online, people claiming to be leakers and stuff like that, or just people spreading misinformation. But I don't know if this is that, but there's been stuff said like, according to leaks from an inside source, Niko Bellic is returning in Grand Theft Auto 6 for a brief cameo. And that is what's been stirring up all of this kind of stuff. People just saying stuff online and kind of getting circulated, which, I get it. Even this video, it's a little clickbaity. Not gonna lie. It's not the most clickbaity thing I've done, but I get it. Well, maybe I don't. I don't understand really just saying nonsense online on a random post. I don't know. Maybe there is some truth to this, but I'm trying really hard now to put everything under a microscope to make sure that I can filter out all the noise and give you guys what's real and what's not. So let's revisit Grand Theft Auto 5 real quick. Remember, Niko didn't physically appear in Grand Theft Auto 5 because of that controversy. I'm sure he would have if it wasn't for the whole payment thing, whatever, with him and Rockstar. Or maybe still he wouldn't have, but who knows. His existence, though, is of course acknowledged through references. Even Michelle, or whatever her real name is, she's in Grand Theft Auto 5. And during story missions, Lester, he said something like, oh, there was an Eastern European guy making moves in Liberty City, but he went quiet. I remember that line and I thought that was really cool. And then also, like I said earlier, Niko has a life invader in Grand Theft Auto 5's universe, which is like their version of Facebook, if you're not familiar for some reason, which I'd be surprised because you're watching this. If you were to view his profile on Jimmy DeSanta's laptop, it shows that Niko is now living in Broker and is working for his cousin Roman's taxi service. So like I told you, it's now canon that they did have kind of a happy ending. And that's really cool. And it kind of leaves it open-ended for, us to see him again. It's not like they did what they did to Johnny, to Niko. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, if that was Niko instead of Johnny, oh, the backlash would have been insane. I would have just burned the game then and there. I mean, when Trevor did kill Johnny, that pretty much took me out of the game almost entirely, but Niko, man, nah. And that's cool. So there's some little lore stuff with Grand Theft Auto 5, but again, nothing that says, hey, Michael Bellic, Niko, he's in Grand Theft Auto 6. So why not? Well, in Grand Theft Auto 5's case, it was everything that happened between Michael Bellic and Rockstar and, him feeling like he wasn't paid fairly. And that took any possibility of a cameo of him out of Grand Theft Auto 5. And it's been so long now that I think Rockstar has maybe even moved away from the idea of doing something like that. Now, if you watched my previous video about AI and video games and how it's going to affect the future, there's a part where I talked about voice actors. They come in, they record a few lines, and then basically they sell away their digital likeness, and people can then just use their voices however they want using AI and put characters and stuff in games. And I have seen people speculate that maybe they'll do some sort of AI Niko and stuff like that. But let's be real here, that's probably not going to happen. And there's two reasons for that. One, I don't think Rockstar would do that just because on principle, like an AI voice actor, I really don't think Rockstar would do that. Two, whatever contract Michael Bellic signed or whatever happened back in like 2008, even before that, like 2006. So yeah, I'm sure there wasn't some AI digital likeness clause or anything like that back then. Now, there could have been something like, if we discover some sort of technology, some sort of legalese to be like, we basically own your voice, but I don't think so. If we do get a cameo in Grand Theft Auto 6, I don't think it's going to be Niko, unfortunately. I would love for him to be in there, okay? He is my favorite Grand Theft Auto 4 character. Well, protagonist. I don't think we're going to see him. I think if we do see a cameo, it might be Trevor, and maybe we'll see him getting beat brutally or something like that. That's if he didn't kill him at the end of Grand Theft Auto 5. But I think it'd be really funny if they brought him into Grand Theft Auto 6 and he's in Johnny's shoes, especially after all the crap Stephen Ogg talks about, Trevor and trying to distance himself from it. I think it'd be funny, but that's just me. And if Niko was in Grand Theft Auto 6, I mean, think of all the time that's passed. Apparently he was only 30. Okay, whatever. The guy went through a lot of trauma and strife and stuff, so I guess it's plausible. But he would be 47 in Grand Theft Auto 6, which I think would be cool. So just to recap, the reason you're hearing these rumors about Niko potentially returning in Grand Theft Auto 6 is literally just because the dude's coming back on Cameo. He's going to show up at Comic-Con Saratoga, and because of a rumor. That's it. Those are the three things we have to go off of if Niko Bellic will be returning to Grand Theft Auto 6. And I did promise you a concrete answer, so here it is. Maybe. No, I'm just kidding. No, you heard me say it earlier. No, he's not going to be in Grand Theft Auto 6. I put money on him not being in Grand Theft Auto 6, but at the same time, I don't know. Anything could happen. What do you think? Do you think he's going to return to Grand Theft Auto 6? I doubt you do. But if there is a character you think will be returning in Grand Theft Auto 6, what character is that? My name's Dandy Andy. I make all sorts of videos, but lately it's been a lot about Grand Theft Auto 6. So if that's your thing, go ahead and hit subscribe, follow along for this crazy journey. I have much higher quality videos than this one, but I needed to get something out for Friday, and I was absolutely tapped after that video I put out on Wednesday. And this has been on my sheet. I needed to get to it eventually. And of course, if there's any new developments or stuff like that, something I learn, I'll mention it in a video or maybe even do a whole video on it. But if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like and help me out a lot. And I really appreciate you watching. Other than that, here are two videos. Maybe you haven't seen them, maybe you have. But if you haven't, highly recommend you check them out. Give them a watch, but if not, and this is where we part ways, have a great rest of your day, week, night, year, whatever. Just stay safe out there in this crazy, dangerous world. Peace.